Hello everyone, Xile Grayson here. So today is a really important day. Today, as you can tell from the music, and if you saw in the intro on the TVs, you could see a certain logo. Today we want to talk about Play the Game. Because today is 15 years. 15 years of Play the Game Co. So because of Play the Game Co, it then became Play the Game Central. So 15 years of Play the Game. How insane is that? They were a really important time for me, and I know a lot of YouTubers, a lot of fans who, if you was a Call of Duty fan back in the golden era, you will probably remember Play the Game. You'll probably remember the Henry Langham. You'll all remember, I think it was GK Nova 6, I think. So there was a lot of things that Play the Game did. There was things that I missed with Play the Game. Like I was a fan, I was an observer, but because of Play the Game, it changed a lot of people's lives, including my own. Some people who worked on Play the Game, they work in Treyarch or work in with Microsoft. Joe Trocious started working with Treyarch. After, I think it was because of his mod videos where he was showing you how to make custom maps for Black Ops 3. Wang Time, who I feel like was one of the things that kept it alive, and he then moved on to work with the Halo Studios to make the promotional content and stuff like that, which was cool, you know. And it's really cool to see those creators move on into the things that they were, you know, documenting. But Play the Game came about because of two people. It was Doonan and Ben, and they inspired me to create the Xiled Ones. The Xiled Ones was me trying to do Play the Game. I wanted to fill that void. I wanted to expand upon the Play the Game formula, adding in things like mods and retro games. How I even had one of the directors helping me, Waypoint, who I hold fondly as a friend, and you know they come to me and they help me in so many ways, and I help them in so many ways. You know, if it wasn't for them, I would not have been able to get this up off the ground, and you know they were instrumental in that. And now they're working on their own private things, which is cool. But we're not really going to talk about that. But I wanted to talk about Play the Game, like, because 15 years is just an insane thing. If you think about it, Play the Game, if you look at Play the Game in its heyday, a lot of YouTube is similar to it now. Like back then, I would think the only time during the, let's say, YouTube era, because now it's called YouTube was very like indie, but with Play the Game, it felt very like AAA. You know, it was very. It was more business orientated. If you had to look at it, it was very cinematic. They were trying to do a lot of cool things. Obviously, they did a lot of different things, like the Henry Langham campaign, where people actually thought was an actual thing. Then I think they also worked in GK Nova 6. We had Crows and Doves. We had some really good shows like Stranger Dangers and Play the Game Home. Play the Game Home was a channel that I loved, and I loved it to bits. And I loved the old the Call of Duty Zombies Armory guides because they were just amazing. You know, granting things medals and giving you the best ways of using them. There's tactics in that game, in those videos, that I still use to this day. You know, like shooting the legs in main place 1. Then also, you know, getting the bolt action rifle and just shooting them in the head, and then the points build before knifing them, and they really do help me get through the first few rounds of zombies. But then there's also the music, like, you know, we had things like Ascend, we had, you know, Worlds Collide, we had Deadhead, and, you know, there was just a lot of cool music. And then Ben was like throwing in elements of like custom songs, like we had Borderlands, Red Meat, Sound of Silence, Zombie. You know, he threw in a lot of cool shit. And with Stranger Dangers, there were just so many funny moments in that I love. Like, I still quote it to this day. Me and my cousin, we will literally play classic maps of Call of Duty, and we'll still keep calling the BAR room the Disney room, you know. Or, you know, if we see a cool weapon in a game, we go, we granted a fucking medal because this is incredible. Just because of Ben doing that. And every now and then I will try and do the Henry Langham, hello, old friend, like voice. So yeah, there was a lot of cool things that I loved about Play the Game. And I think even though it's been really quiet, I still watch Play the Game videos sometimes. Like I still go back and watch the Play the Game home videos. I mean, when I was working on Z.FG, I seriously wanted to do something that was like recapture that essence of Play the Game home. So I recreated a Play the Game home video, but I sort of manipulated it to make it look like, well, to basically be part of Z.FG, the game where it was like the main pistol. If that had progressed as a game, I think you would add more. I had plans for doing like a health one, which was the first time to see it, like a health item in Play the Game home, but there was also going to be a shotgun as well. But I also wanted to expand on that formula, because one of my favourite YouTube channels that's sort of sprinted off from Play the Game home is the Kendo Gun Shop, who does videos in that universe of Resident Evil where he throws in like historic elements of the weapon in the game, but then also expands on it to like the real world functionality of it and stuff. So that's what I wanted to do with Play the Game home with my version. And it was funny to see Smith when I was watching his playthrough of Z.FG, when he suddenly said he never thought that he would see the day when he'd get another Play the Game home episode. And that took me only about a few weeks to make. So it was, even Ben was like shocked. But Play the Game, it went through different eras. We had eras where Ben wasn't interacting with it as much. It was sold off, then he got it back. Then there was moments where they had the forums and with the Skype group, which I was a part of, but I never really got interacted with that. And then when Black Ops Cold War came out, that's when we suddenly had Twitch, and Play the Game came back for a few months. And it was because of that sort of built the bridge between me being a fan to them working with Ben and working helping out with Hurt Records, because Play the Game suddenly evolved into Hurt Records. And that's why when I see the controversy that people have been doing, where I see these new videos coming out where you got creators suddenly beating a dead horse, and it's like, yeah, guess what, he's not working on that anymore, he's working on something more. You got creators like, I don't even want to say their names because there's no point, but you have these creators who literally have bled Call of Duty dry. Call of Duty has not been great since Cold War. Like, it's been coming and going, and Cold War was the last great Call of Duty, I would say, for multiple reasons. But I can see the reason why Play the Game suddenly disappeared and Play the Game has not come back, because the content isn't there. You look at Call of Duty isn't a great game anymore. You don't have the Easter eggs and the way you're having to put the theories together to make the story. It's all spoon fed, so there's no reason for Play the Game. But Play the Game will always be hold a nice place in my heart, and I do want to do Stranger Dangers with Xiled Ones, but it's sad that it's gone. But 15 years of Play the Game, that is insane. It only feels like yesterday when I actually found out about it. When I found out that finding Worlds Collide for the first time, listening to Worlds Collide, and then finding Once Upon a Time. I think it was the opposite way around. Well, Once Upon a Time, then Worlds Collide. Because Once Upon a Time, we all thought this would end, but it never ends. So yeah, that blew my mind, because I remember just finishing Doris with my cousin for the first time. No, actually it wasn't that. We finished Moon for the first time, and him and Samantha, coming out of the MPD, which was just insane, and then blowing up the Earth was. That's what sort of made me go on that path of Easter eggs, and Play the Game suddenly changed the way I was as a creative. When I used to write things, everything was so linear, but because of Play the Game and because of Ben, suddenly I started throwing Easter eggs and hiding things, because he was hiding things in his music. And it was the first time I actually took a track, like when Zombies first came out, the album, and at the very end you did like the and then you flip it round in Audacity and you just go, they all said I was dead, there could not be more wrong. How's your wife? It's stuff like that just blew my fucking mind. And I've said this to a few people, even Ben himself. Then when Zombies 3 came out, I literally got it, and I didn't hear it until I was on my lunch break when I was working in at a bank. And I was sitting outside, and suddenly, I can just hear, "Hello, old friend." Like, as soon as I heard that, my jaw hit the floor, and everyone looked at me like shocked, like they thought I was having a stroke. And I just said, "You just want to understand." But then, obviously, with Twitch, that led to me asking Ben, like, how would a Z game work? And, since then, it built a friendship. And, there's been times where I've had some really dark days, and Ben has hugged me, and he's tried to make me feel better, and he's been there for me, and he's been supportive of everything that I've done. It's because of him that Xiled Ones is on like 50 followers on Twitch, which is amazing. It's great. But yeah, it's insane to me how much Play the Game has changed, and it's cool to see what he has created from Play the Game. Hurt Records, going into the studio for the first time, seeing that place, it's just insane what he has built from that YouTube channel. And that's why when people are throwing shit at him, I'm like, seriously, is that all you're gonna do? Because it's a dead channel. There hasn't been any videos really uploaded in a while. He's now remaking Call of Duty Zombies music. 2 of them already came out, which is Carry On and Always Running, and I've played a part in Always Running, as in like gang vocals and something else that I will not say. So yeah, like when I just see creators who are literally still obsessing over a game that isn't great, and they're very like it's like a switch. Suddenly they hate it, suddenly they love it, and they're just suck like its teat, to quote Macaulay Culkin. It's insane to me that people are still throwing shit at Play the Game when Play the Game did something that they couldn't do at the time. And I think Play the Game will always be an important history of Call of Duty, and also into YouTube history. And I just want to say thanks to Ben, thanks to all the directors who worked on Play the Game. Do I think it could come back one day? It depends on Call of Duty. It depends on if there's any other good games that come out. But we will have to see. If you're wondering, has Ben ever spoke to me about Play the Game? No. Waypoint did once recently, because I think they would like to bring it back, and I would like to Play the Game back. If I could ever bring it back and give it the caliber of content, then I would. But I don't think I could. I don't think there's anything good. I think that if the last time we could have brought back Play the Game was probably BF1, because BF1 had some really good Easter eggs compared to Call of Duty. But yeah, that has passed. Well, who knows? Maybe Battlefield 6 may have something like BF1 Easter eggs, like the Masterman Easter egg. But please like, comment, subscribe, follow the links in the description, take to all social media platforms. In the comments as well, I want you to do something really important. Please comment down below and tell me your favourite moment of Play the Game. What was the thing that sticks in your mind about Play the Game? Nothing negative. If it's negative, I will remove them, because I want just one positive. We had a negative director, and guess what? He's out. So I don't want negativity in this fucking channel. But please give us some really cool moments, things that you remember. I mean, like I said, me and my cousin watching Stranger Dangers, quoting it all the time. I missed the video of the Christmas video where it was 12 Bens are raging, and Ben on New Year's Day, literally as it turns New Year, him smashing the shit out of a guitar because he fucking lost. There's just so many funny moments. Work out with Ben, get up, make a drink, and a text message, you're a knob. Or why hello ladies, it's Ben, wait. And also the one that sticks to mind is I'm not going to say what it is, I'm just going to say education centres. I don't know whether they get banned for that, but I even spoke to him about Stranger Dangers, and I said, would he ever be able to come back? And he says, mate, if we did, we get cancelled to fuck. And it's true. The stuff that they said in that, you cannot say now. But it was funny. And I miss that. I miss those days where we could have fun. Not, suddenly get into an uproar and start a riot and stuff like that. But yeah, so please comment down below and tell me your favourite moment to play the game. Who knows? Maybe Ben will look at them and see them and goes, you know what? Let's bring it back. Maybe that's what we need. So yeah. Anyway, stay safe, my exile friends. Enough said.